I think crypto gaming will be one of the biggest narratives of the upcoming bull run. The crypto gaming space could not only be the vehicle to onboard millions of new crypto users, but it could also be the thing that makes a lot of people rich. And what's not to love about fragging some noobs and making some crypto income? I've invested into a lot of gaming projects, including the one I'm talking about in this video, which is still incredibly early. For example, if it got as big as Gala Games, the price would do a 75x from here. The crypto gaming project I'm talking about here is called Playable. They want to develop high quality games, both internally and by sponsoring external projects. Playable runs on its own network called the Playable Chain, which is an Avalanche subnet and uses the Bull token as the backbone of its ecosystem. And this is something that a growing number of gaming projects are doing, which has me pretty bullish on Avalanche as well. But they're about more than just creating games. They want to bring players into the development process and improve game features based on that community feedback. Because we all know just how super annoying it is when popular games completely ignore player feedback. I'm really bullish on Playable. I've invested a lot of money into this project, and several months back I did partner with them for the long term. Now, this video isn't directly sponsored by them or anything, but it is important that I let you know that I have a bunch invested and I do work with the team in various capacities. Playable launched back in February of 2022, right at the start of the bear market. And they are still here, which I think says a lot because plenty of other projects did not survive the bear market. Playable set out with a fairly bold vision to release a total of 30 high quality games by 2030. So you've got 6 years left, Playable. Time's a ticking. Unlike a bunch of other crypto gaming projects that we've seen before, Playable is laser focused on the gaming experience. They saw a chance to fill a gap in the market by creating games that aren't just about earning money, but that are actually fun to play. Which is a wildly crazy concept, I know. Games that are fun to play. I am kidding here, but this really has not been the norm in the crypto gaming space. So with that said, let's talk games. In September of 2023, they launched their first game called Nexus, a third-person 5v5 multiplayer online battle arena, or MOBA, shooter. One of the cool things to see is that community element aspect that I mentioned earlier. If you pop into the Playable Discord, which I do recommend you do, and you check out the Nexus section, there is a ton of people playing and then giving regular feedback to the team, and then the team responding and tweaking the game. It's pretty cool to see that real-time community involvement. And as of right now, you can earn about 500 Bull tokens, or a little less than $1 a day, just from playing the game. Of course, if the token price goes up, well, you could earn several dollars a day and get paid to play a game you would have played for free, which is pretty rad. That said, I will talk about a way to earn significantly more income with Playable in just a moment. And if you want to give Nexus a try, I'll leave the download link in the description below. Apart from Nexus, Playable has 3 more games scheduled for release by the end of this year. One of them is Ordnum, a turn-based trading card game with a strong NFT focus. This game is expected to increase the utility of the Bull token, which could potentially increase its price. And if you are familiar with games like Magic the Gathering, then this game will be familiar to you. Another game is called Starvin' Martian, where players build an empire on Mars. Starting from scratch, players make strategic decisions to build an outpost, grow alien crops, and raise alien livestock. Dogs of War, the last game expected for Q4 in 2024, puts players in the role of genetically engineered canine-human hybrids in a combat-focused world. And there's a sentence I never thought I'd say. Players build bases, engage in PvP battles, and raid enemy camps. Now, if we look ahead to 2025, Playable plans to release 2 more games, War of Steel and a metaverse game featuring virtual land ownership. And considering the pace of all this, it seems that achieving their ambitious goal of 30 games by 2030 might be more realistic than some would think. And if they do, that would be a very impressive feat for such a young gaming company. Now, all this might sound exciting, but how do we turn this into passive income, you might ask? Well, you can do this by buying Playable nodes, which earn you Bull tokens. And while these are called nodes, these aren't real nodes just yet. In the future, the plan for these nodes is to play a crucial role in running the entire playable ecosystem and will eventually require dedicated computers to run on. So for right now, it's better to think of them as your NFT VIP pass to the playable ecosystem. For example, one of the perks of owning a node is getting beta access to play the games before they are available to the general public. But of course, they also earn you passive income. If we rewind the clock, the nodes originally started selling at $100 each, but with the price going up by $100 for every 100 nodes sold. The current price for a node is $6,600, which means that roughly 6,500 nodes have already been sold. And if that's way out of your price range, they do have a way where you can still earn passive income without spending nearly as much, and I will cover that in just a moment. Right now, each node earns you 1,045 bull tokens per day, which is a little less than $2 per day or $54 per month at current prices. And I've been gradually buying more playable nodes over the past year. I currently have 26 nodes, which are earning me about 27,000 bull tokens per day in passive income. And at current prices, that's just under $1,500 a month or about $17,000 per year. Now, in previous videos, I was earning way more with these nodes. And in some of the videos before that, I was earning way less. Because if you haven't noticed yet, crypto is very volatile. So token prices go up and down a lot. But I don't really care about any of that. The daily, weekly, or even monthly earnings don't really matter to me, at least in terms of today's value. I have these nodes to stack up playable tokens over the long haul. And I'm doing this because I think playable will perform super well in the upcoming crypto bull run, and I want a fat stack. And that's the fun part. I like to look at these things with a long view. So, how much could we potentially earn if playable reaches a market cap similar to Gala Games, which currently stands at just under $1 billion? Well, as I said before, that's about a 75x from Playable's current price, which means each node would earn about $133 per day, over $4,000 per month, or about $48,000 per year, which is pretty exciting. And if we're having fun, let's dream a little bit bigger. If Playable reached the previous all-time high market cap of Gala, that would be a mind-boggling 360x. And each node would be making $641 a day, or almost $20,000 a month. At that point, my 26 nodes would be making an incredible $500,000 a month, which, if that happens, I don't know what I'm gonna do. With that kind of passive income, I'll be out earning some celebrities and professional athletes. So step aside, Joe Montana. Andy's gonna make the big bucks. I don't really know sports. But this is just having a bit of fun. I will be happy with even a fraction of that potential upside. Now, if a node is a little bit outside of your price range, they did recently introduce fractional nodes. You can create a fractional node pool or join an existing one. You could buy in for $100 or less, or split the node into bigger chunks and spend a bit more for each slice. It's a pretty cool system that they just introduced that allows you to jump into a node for far less money. So all that is exciting, but what exciting things, not future things, are happening with Playable right now? Well, it turns out they've been pretty busy. Last month, they launched the closed beta for their upcoming card game Ordnum. If you own a Playable node or have a VI3 pass, then you're also eligible to try out the game right now. All you have to do is head over to their Discord and find all the details. They are, though, planning to do an open beta this quarter. And as I've already said, there's a ton of regular feedback between the players and the team about Nexus. They are constantly tweaking the game and launching new features and changes. One change since I last talked about Nexus is that if you want to keep earning bull tokens while playing Nexus, you now need a P2E pass, a VI3 pass, or be a node owner. The pass isn't required to play the game, only to keep earning. Their third and fourth games are also in development. Starvin' Martian is in closed beta and is being reprogrammed for both mobile and PC. And that has an expected release in this quarter of 2024. Dogs of War is expected to enter closed alpha in Q4 of 2024. Playable has also been doing a lot of expansion. Up until recently, Playable has been operating with a smaller team with many members juggling multiple roles. Well, now that they've done all this recent rapid expansion, they've onboarded some big names along the way, such as Paul Sullivan from Gala Games, who's now the lead game designer for Dogs of War. He spent 10 years working on a tiny little game called World of Warcraft. Maybe you've heard of it. They also onboarded Stephen Bishop who worked on Fortnite and contributed to Unreal Engine 4. Additionally, they brought on 2 new external studios and 3 new internal teams to develop their games. One external team is working on Nexus, while the other is set to take over War of Steel. So in short, there is a ton of momentum with Playable that is building right now. And while I am super bullish on Playable, and I think there's a ton of potential upside here, this is crypto after all, and crypto is risky. There is always the risk that Playable might not succeed despite the team's best efforts and intentions. But it's also the same risk with just about any crypto project. So as always, only invest what you're okay watching go to zero. Additionally, the crypto gaming sector is highly competitive. GameFi is a $20 billion industry right now, and I do personally think this narrative will do very well this bull cycle. However, this does not guarantee that Playable will outperform other projects in the space. At the same time, I don't think they need to outperform other projects in the space. I think if crypto gaming truly takes off and gets as big as I think it will be the rising tide that lifts all gaming ships, Playable included. But the big takeaway here is don't blindly buy something just because I did. Think for yourself. Decide on your own if you want to invest in something like this or not. But overall, I think Playable has significant growth potential, as it's currently only a $15 million market cap, which is just 0.1% of the entire GameFi sector, which is tiny. They have pretty big names from the gaming industry on their roster, and their team is rapidly expanding. I personally think that crypto gaming will be a massive narrative in this cycle, and for that reason, I want a lot of exposure to gaming projects, because a few successful projects could potentially drive growth across the entire GameFi and crypto gaming ecosystem. Ultimately, if Playable becomes even half as successful as Gala, it could become an incredible long-term source of passive income. And if you want more sources, well then watch this video to see all the other crypto gaming projects I have in my portfolio. Goodbye.